Januari hii rais ameanza sasa kwenda kufanya kazi kwa sababu
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
What about mambo fantastic if not scholastic? Chota kuchota na Hatia Supermarket imerudi. Ukifanya tu shopping ya shilingi 1,000, wewe unaingia kwa promotion ya chota kuchota na Hatia Supermarket. Watu wanaendelea kushinda ndani ya Hatia Supermarket.
Ni yangu.
Mwana tata kitoko. Wewe na
umeshinda nini? Yote. Sasa nalala.
Karibu ndani ya Hatia Supermarket uweze kuchota kwa wingi kabisa.
Watu huko wanasema nini?
Nakwambia kwamba chota kuchota. Unangoja nini?
Magari 7 za kushindaniwa, TV, fridge, microwave, shopping vouchers, school fees vouchers, instant prizes na zawadi zingine kemkem. Chota kuchota imethaminiwa na Hetia's Oven Fresh Bakery, Gigabyte, Mount Kenya Milk, Clover's Food Products, Velvet, Magic Drink, Pwani Oil, Arenco, Fruit Juice, Masterchef, Toilex, Coolsip, Mika, Wash Ultra, Philos, Prestol, Nivea, My Choice, Ushindi, Fresh Fry, Arimis Jelly, Cabernet Water, Dettol, Ketepa, Meta, Glucose, Coca-Cola, Rosy Tissue, Big Giant, Elbins, Unilever, Fresh, Unga wa Dola, Blue Band na Pasta Star. Shindano la chota kuchota linaanza tarehe 1 Disemba hadi tarehe 10 Februari mwaka 2024.
Hatia Supermarket, a world of choice.
As the night falls, we come to life to bring you a comprehensive broadcast from the numerous events happening across our 47 counties.
When it breaks, it matters, and each story is important.
If it's Thursday, join me, Nancy Lima, and my able panelists as we break down the law jargons and analyze the Constitution in a way only you can understand.
The news cycle never stops, neither does time. We cover each and every sector and present you factual and accurate occurrences. This is where facts win the day. Join me,
Nancy Lima,
Ian Keitani,
Tuesday
every Wednesday,
Thursday,
as from 9 p.m. on The Insight,
only
on Lookuptv.
Tere, mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Muka we mse. Nini mbaya? Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya? Lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time hata angalia barabara. Mamiseni dereva tusimame. Wewe dereva wewe. Mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 3,000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitamtamka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Save a Life is a non-profit organization that has taken the front line in transforming lives in the entire country. So far, we have transformed life of over 100,000 people through our programs, which include medical support, youth empowerment, street family program, feeding program, and climate change. Join us today as we transform lives. As we always say, service to humanity is service to God. Save a life, transforming lives.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
What about mambo fantastic even not scholastic? Chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket imerudi. Ukifanya tu shopping ya shilingi 1,000, wewe unaingia kwa promotion ya chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket. Watu wanaendelea kushinda ndani ya Hetia Supermarket. What? Mwana tata, kitoko. yako. Hey, wewe na umeshika
nini? Yote. Sasa, wewe nalala.
Karibu ndani ya Hetia Supermarket uweze kuchota kwa wingi kabisa. Wasuko wanasema nini? Nakwambia kwamba chota kuchota. Unangoja nini?
Magari 7 za kushindaniwa, TV, fridge, microwave, shopping vouchers, school fees vouchers, instant prizes na zawadi zingine kemkem. Chota kuchota imethaminiwa na Hetia's Oven Fresh Bakery, Gigabyte, Mount Kenya Milk, Clover's Food Products, Velvex, Magic Drink, Pwani Oil, Arenco, Fruit Juice, Masterchef, Toilex, Coolsip, Mika, Wash Ultra, Philos, Bristol, Nivea, My Choice, Ushindi, Fresh Fry, Arimis Jelly, Cabernet Water, Dettol, Ketepa, Meta, Glucose, Coca-Cola, Rosy Tissue, Big Giant, Elbins, Unilever, Fresh, Unga wa Dola, Blue Band na Pasta Star. Shindano la chota kuchota linaanza tarehe 1 Disemba hadi tarehe 10 Februari mwaka 2024.
Hetia Supermarket, a world of choice.
As the night falls, we come to life to bring you a comprehensive broadcast from the numerous events happening across our 47 counties.
When it breaks, it matters, and each story is important.
If it's Thursday, join me, Nancy Lima, and my able panelists as we break down the low jargons and analyze the Constitution in a way only you can understand.
The news cycle never stops, neither does time. We cover each and every sector and present to you factual and accurate occurrences. This is where facts win the day. Join me,
Nancy Lima,
Ian Keitani, Tuesday, every Wednesday,
Thursday,
as from 9 p.m. on the Insight, only on Lookuptv.
With over 130,000 students failing to report to their respective secondary schools, despite being placed into various institutions, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has today reiterated these sentiments over President William Ruto, cautioning school principals over sending students back home due to non-payment of school fees, insisting that the national government has disbursed funds meant to facilitate education of students through various cadres.
The Ministry of Education has released money, capitation, for junior secondary school, for primary school, for secondary school. Mwalimu asikue mtu ambaye ako na mambo yake, na hao watoto wakubaliwa wasome. Hivi mzazi anahangaika kidogo mambo ya uniform, aendelee kusoma na ile ya zamani, mzazi akitafuta uniform. Ikipatikana aendelee.
Speaking in Kajiado North constituency, Kajiado County, Gachagua slammed the opposition over constant attacks on the government regarding the economy, noting the steps made by the RUTO-led administration in reviving the economy.
We had inherited a dilapidated economy and the coffers were empty. Rais ameng'ang'ana na hii maneno ya madeni for 1 year, ndio imeingia laini sasa. Na ndio January hii rais ameanza sasa kwenda kufanya kazi kwa sababu uchumi umeanza kurudi kwa laini. And I can tell you there is light at the end of the tunnel and things are okay. Na wale ambaye wanasema ati uchumi ni mbaya walikuwa ndani ya serikali ya handshake na hawakuwa naongea.
With succession politics taking center stage, especially in the vast Mount Kenya region, Gachagua dismissed politicians engaging in succession talks, urging elected leaders to focus on development.
Mimi nataka niulize viongozi wenzangu katika Kenya Kwanza, wakiwemo magavana, wakiwemo maseneta, wakiwa wabunge, let us be sensitive to the people of Kenya. Tukubali ya kwamba hii ni wakati ya kazi, hii hapana wakati ya siasa. Sisi tumetoka uchaguzi juzi. It is insensitive and unfair to the people of Kenya to talk about succession 10 years from now. This is a time to work for the people of Kenya.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Right, moving on with our bulletin this morning. PNU has vowed to mount aggressive grassroots recruitment exercise in preparation for the 2027 elections. Speaking during the 15th PNU anniversary, party chair Peter Munya noted that the road to 2027 has just begun because Kenya is an ICU. John Mataba with a report.
With fanfare, joy and celebrations, PNU leaders gathered to mark the 15th anniversary of the party. PNU was founded in 2007 and registered as a political party in Kenya in the year 2008 by former President His Excellency Emilion Mwai Kibaki. Speaking during the anniversary, the PNU chair Peter Munya stated that the government has let Kenyans down on many fronts, including overseeing a dilapidated economy, pledging that his party will tour the country to register members and revise its policies towards the 2027 general elections.
Leo, we are kick-starting our national recruitment drive, and we are starting it with an online registration which is starting today. And as you can see,
Munya was joined by other azimio leaders including opposition leader Raila Odinga and DAPK Eugene Wamalwa, asserted that Kenya is in critical state, calling on the opposition to take responsibility and liberate the nation.
Kiongozi yako na usemi vizuri sana huko kwa bunge, na tutategemea yeye kwa vita ile inaendelea kuhakikisha Wakenya wajamalizwa na ushuru wa pesa ambayo hatujui inaenda kufanya nini.
John Matava, Lookuptv.
Now, troubles facing controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie, who is facing several counts of murder charges of more than 400 of his followers, and a Shakahola continue to pile after Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki gazetted his Good News International Church as a criminal organization. This recent move, made by the security docket, is a clear indication that the government is not letting go of its resolve to have Paul Mackenzie and his co-accused persons account for the heinous acts. Our reporter Henry Tende on the front.
Through an official government gazette notice, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has declared Good News International Church, run by controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie, as a criminal organization. This recent move by Professor Kindiki has compounded the problems facing Mackenzie, who is already battling murder charges and 11 counts of violations of children's rights.
Na ule Mackenzie ule hatoki jela tena. Ule hatoki jela, atazeekea pale jela. Na tunaomba Mungu amweke miaka mingi ndio aone Kenya ambayo itakuwa Kenya salama, ambayo itakuwa na hii maneno yake ya upumbavu. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Lakini jela hatoki. Hataona mwangaza wa hii dunia tena, atakaa pale jela mpaka azekee hapo, alafu apotee, aende kwa shetani yake. Kama atatubu, hiyo ni mambo ya Mungu.
With fears from a section of the public that the preacher may be let go by the courts, Kindiki has made it clear the government is not prepared to bungle the case and will do whatever it takes to have Mackenzie and his co-accused pay for their crimes.
Hata mahakama ikimwachilia, tutamrudisha pale. Sababu mahakama zetu za ingine tunaambia watu huyu ni mkora, ameua watu, wanasema iko haki, sijui katiba gani inatumika, wanaachilia. Hata wakimwachilia, ule bwana atazeekea pale jela na atatoka jela aende akakutane na hukumu ya Mwenyezi Mungu.
Kindiki has issued a strong warning to religious leaders who are hiding behind the doctrines of their faith to commit criminal acts in addition to violation of rights of their followers.
Every leader of any religious organization, every kadhi, every imam, every priest in any church, temple, synagogue, or whatever house of worship, those of you who are hiding behind the Holy Scriptures, to cause us harm in our country, to kill people, to torture them, to rob them their property, your days are numbered. We will treat you the same way we are treating armed bandits in Rift Valley and the other Islamic terrorists who are coming from our neighboring country to hurt our people.
Paul Mackenzie has been in the media for all the wrong reasons. He is accused of aiding the death of more than 400 Kenyans through controversial teachings whose bodies were buried in shallow mass graves in Shakahola Forest. According to witness accounts, Mackenzie will advocate for his followers to fast to their death as a means of going to heaven to meet their Creator.
Even though Mr. Mackenzie and the other criminals succeeded in hurting this country so badly, I stand before you and before God to promise you that this government will do whatever it takes, will do whatever it needs to be done to make sure that never again do we have the kind of damage that we got at Shakahola Forest.
Henry Tendanyula, Lookuptv.
Right, let's move on to another story this morning. Azimio leader Raila Amolo Odinga has called for another national dialogue over the affordable housing project. Speaking at PNU 15 years celebrations, Odinga noted that a conversation would help Kenyans understand the program and better formulate strategies.
Need a house, you must pay. Upende, usipende. Hiyo lugha ya upende usipende tulizika na katiba mkongwe. Hatutaki kusikia tena. Hatutaki tena kusikia mambo ya upende usipende. Hiyo ilienda na nyayo. Kwa hivyo sisi wa Kenya kama mnataka tufanye hii maneno, watu waketi chini. Let us have a proper dialogue, a national dialogue of how this program is going to be rolled, so people own it properly. Let people understand what you want to do. Then it will be owned. When we were making transformation with Kibaki, we convened a conference at Bomas of Kenya. 1 week, we called the Kenya we want. The Kenya we want. And people dialogued and agreed what needed to be done in our country.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has filed a notice of appeal moved to the Supreme Court over the housing levy. In the notice, Wetangula stated that he will be appealing against the whole ruling rendered by Justices Lydia Chode, John Mativo, and Waniki Gachoka. Mbeere North Member of Parliament Geoffrey Ruku has warned contractors against firing workers from affordable housing construction sites.
A manifesto which is so dear to the President of the Republic of Kenya. It is true that the courts have termed the program as unconstitutional, and it's true that the two committees of Parliament, the Housing Committee and Finance Committee, are finalizing the report on public participation as far as affordable housing is concerned. We are calling upon the leadership of the House of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Clerk of the National Assembly, the Majority Leader, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa, to fast-track the process as quickly as possible. Also, it is important for all contractors who have been on site to know that in case you send away the artisan, the foodies who are working on your project, because of the ruling of the court, it will be deemed that you are working with azimio, and you'll be treated as so. And we can institute the process of terminating your contract to have other contractors.
So this morning, the conversation that we're going to have on the morning drift is on a constitutional crisis that we were just facing on the back of that report that is tabled at the National House. The majority of those members in that National House have not looked at yet. As of March, the REBC, according to the Kenyan Constitution, a fully constituted REBC, is supposed to review the boundaries of constituencies in the country ahead of general elections. Now, this particular conversation is in respect to the NATCO report that gave us proposals on how we were supposed to appoint the REBC commissioners that was supposed to be on that panel that is supposed to also choose the REBC commissioners. Now, what is currently ongoing is that the courts have looked at the deadlines that REBC have, and they've said we are staring at a constitutional crisis. We are not essentially going to wait for what you guys already have in that NATCO report, because you've not even told us when you're going to table it. So they sat, and so remember, in March 2023, there was a selection panel that was supposed to go in and recruit REBC commissioners for approval. The judges ruled that indeed they should go right ahead and interview REBC commissioners so that REBC could meet the deadlines as outlined in the Kenyan Constitution. 2 questions. So what, Raila Amolo Odinga? I mean, you said the reason as to why we are in the street is for you to undo the wrongdoings at REBC. The courts have come back and said, The second question, was this where we were headed? Go to Bomas of Kenya, table that particular report, let it go back to the National House and sit there. Is that what it is now? Because a particular panel that was constituted on March 2023 is going to start their interviews. So what has Raila Amolo Odinga spoken about? And what has the president also spoken about that particular move? So far, all of them silent. I'm reading so much into it this morning right here on a big conversation. I'll be introducing the guests who are joining us this morning. We're going to table that conversation right here on the Morning Drift. Join us online and Lookuptv across all of your social media platforms as well.
Hapa Kaptara, tunataka kusema asante sana RUTO Foundation kwa mambo mazuri ambayo wameweza kutufanyia leo. Wakaaji wa hapa Kaptara, wakaaji wa hapa Salawa, wakaaji wa hapa Mujukuo, mpaka wakaaji wote ambao wanatoka hapa Baringo County.
Naambia RUTO Foundation asante kwa kazi nzuri wanayofanya. Mungu awabariki.
Every time you play Lotto, 25% goes to the RUTO Foundation, which supports our fellow Kenyans through various causes. Thank you for your help. Together, we are changing lives.
Tere, mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya. Hey!
Nini mbaya?
Wewe kwani woni vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time hata angalia barabara. Mamiseni dereva tusimame. Wewe dereva wewe. Mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 3,000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitampeleka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
What about mambo fantastic if not scholastic? Chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket imerudi. Ukifanya tu shopping ya shilingi 1,000, wewe unaingia kwa promotion ya chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket. Watu wanaendelea kushinda ndani ya Hetia Supermarket.
Ni yangu.
Mbona tata? Kitoko. Wewe na
umeshinda nini? Yote. Hansa. Wabenalala.
Karibu ndani ya Hetia Supermarket uweze kuchota kwa wingi kabisa. Watu huko wanasema nini? Nakwambia kwamba chota kuchota. Unangoja nini?
Magari 7 za kushindaniwa, TV, fridge, microwave, shopping vouchers, school fees vouchers, instant prizes na zawadi zingine kemkem. Chota kuchota imethaminiwa na Hetia's Oven Fresh Bakery, Gigabyte, Mount Kenya Milk, Clover's Food Products, Velvet, Magic Drink, Pwani Oil, Arenco, Fruit Juice, Masterchef, Toilex, Coolsip, Mika, Wash Ultra, Philos, Bristol, Nivea, My Choice, Ushindi, Fresh Fry, Arimis Jelly, Cabernet Water, Dettol, Ketepa, Meta, Glucose, Coca-Cola, Rosy Tissue, Big Giant, Elbins, Unilever, Fresh, Unga wa Dola, Blue Band na Pasta Star. Shindano la chota kuchota linaanza tarehe 1 Disemba hadi tarehe 10 Februari mwaka 2024.
Hetia Supermarket, a world of choice.
There's so much that we're talking about this morning, by the way. But for the first part of our conversation this morning, we're going to restrict ourselves to one area, reconstitution of IEBC. Two things are going on about this particular issue. One, there was a panel that was put in place as of March 2023 to go in and interview IEBC commissioners. Was supposed to be later appointed to that particular panel. Well, majority of Kenyans sent in their applications, but then there was a stop. And the stop essentially was caused by one Raila Amolo Odinga, who said, I do not like the way that particular panel is constituted. We gotta talk about it and change the way IEBC operates. Well, we went to the street, came off the street and went to the Bomas of Kenya, where we have the NATCO report. The NATCO report came up with the recommendations of how to pick the IEBC commissioners. Went all the way up to November. Members of Parliament went on recess, been a long recess, they're back. But then they've not opened it because it's right there at the National House. But what we do know is that as of this March onwards, the IEBC commissioners were supposed to start the review of the boundaries in this country. But then that was not going on. So IEBC is not fully constituted, and the courts essentially read that the country was going into a constitutional crisis, which they said, some of which could have seen a postponement of an election. So they made a ruling that that particular panel that was picked as of March 2023 to pick those IEBC commissioners should go on and conduct the interviews. That's where we are this morning. Joining me then to talk about this particular conversation this morning, we do have Joyce Omayu, who is the National Chair, Amka Mama Association. Joyce, how are you doing?
Thank you so much.
Happy to have you around. We also do have Carl Simba, who is the National Chairman, Kenya Youth Federation. Simba, how are you doing, man?
I'm surviving.
Yeah?
Yeah, we are surviving in this country.
All right. We have a lot to talk about this morning. So let's get right into it. And Joyce, I'd like to begin with you this morning. That particular ruling has come as a surprise. In fact, even Raila Amolo Odinga has not essentially caught wind of it. Because yesterday at the PNU anniversary celebrations, it was essentially talking about the housing levy. That was a big issue that took us to the streets. REBC, reconstitution. So far the courts have said, time is catching up with us, we're looking into a constitutional crisis. Place that panel that was picked to do interviews to replace those IEBC commissioners, go right ahead and do it. Let's have those commissioners at IEBC so that we don't stare at a constitutional crisis. Was it a waste of time that we used taxpayers' money to go to Bomas of Kenya, paid hefty commissions? Here we are. That particular report that is supposed to be implemented has not seen the light of the day on key issues that Raila Amolo Odinga and the opposition said we needed to solve.
Thank you so much, Elijah. Of course, before, I want to congratulate the PNU party for that activity they had yesterday for the recruitment of new members. This is a direction, a step in the right direction, because azimio needs to put their numbers in order and their political parties in order. Two, that ruling came in with mixed feelings. Other Kenyans have said that the president of this country is smart and craft and can see ahead of some other players. Two things that came as a shocker yesterday. That of course we are going through a constitutional crisis. Some wards do not have representation. Those wards that do not have representation, some constituencies do not have representations. As a result of either the members of parliament passed on, or there was a dispute that was settled by ABC, and that have not been dealt with. So on two issues here, now since we've found ourselves on that crossroad, I would encourage my brother, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, stop fearing in the forest. Kindly read that pronouncement.
Yes.
Today is 1st of February. That report and the commission should have started its recruitment by March of 2024. It's about 27 days to go. Much as we complain about the waste of time, the waste of taxpayers' resources, the waste of our precious brains, let us hit the ground. Let us now deal with the real issues as they are. The selection committee start working, because we have found ourselves at that crossroad. Let us deal with the results and the outcome of the selection committee. Let us now not fear, because it's already waters under the bridge now. Let us hit and deal with the issue that will be on the ground. There is a meeting, this a Kamukuji meeting that will be happening, I think, in the course of next week. That notwithstanding, let us also not allow some constitutional crisis to go on as we sit in Bomas, as we sit in boardrooms to discuss.
Yes.
Let us deal with the solutions that will come from those committees.
Yes. But this is just before I cross over to Simba this morning as well, this is a question I'm asking. I mean, if Raila Amolo Odinga was quite aware that we were staring at a constitutional crisis, IEBC essentially should have been enabled as immediately as it could have been enabled, and RUTO was also quite aware of that. There's this sort of feeling that somebody somewhere was aware that that particular report, if it was going to sit at that house this year, the courts were not going to be settling Because any other person would have walked into the courts and said, well, we have a constitutional crisis. Can you make a ruling on what is on what is supposed to happen to these constituencies and these wards? Which is why we asked, is this a crafted constitutional crisis? Somebody knew very well. Get done with the conversations, Joyce. Fine. Give me that report. Good. Take it back to the National House. They will decide when they're going to pick us as house business. It might be even mid of this year. It might be even next year when they pick this particular report to talk about it. The report has not picked ground at all in the National House. And you sort of feel like they haven't really spoken about this particular report.
Some different schools of thought, Elijah, felt that the meeting between judiciary and the executive did not go to discuss about the housing levy. That meeting went to discuss the NADCO report, the outcome of the NADCO report. And the school of thought from another school proposed that let us push this report to early February. Why? Different constitutional bodies will not have time to deal with this issue. The House, the National Assembly, most of them have been compromised. Even members from the opposition party. From the number of about 162, today it's only about 88 of them who will join in against that report. The rest have fallen along the path. So God, in his own way, brought a huge confusion in terms of timelines. It was waited for all that report from November up to February.
Does it?
So the judiciary cannot deal with that matter. The National House, the National Assembly again cannot substantively deal with that matter. So that crafted method of postponing, pushing to the 11th hour, have found ourselves where we are now.
Does it? But Joseph, I'll be coming back to you. So we see the composition of this selection panel that is supposed to do these interviews vis-a-vis what the Azimio coalition actually did suggest when they met the bombers of Kenya. Simba, good morning, sir. How are you doing? And Happy New Year. It's the very first time I'm seeing you this year. We got to talk about this as well. And I did ask this question to Joyce. I mean, we're not going to sit here and pretend that both Dr. William RUTO, PhD, President of the Republic of Kenya, and one, Raila Amolo Odinga, who majority of people, again, know very well that he might run for the 2027 election, or he might be supporting a candidate from whatever coalition that he shall be in, knew very well that this is a matter of urgency. That IEBC has stayed for a very long time, since 2022, without proper constitution. Why didn't we have a timeline in attacking some of these issues that were raised in that NADCO report? Who slept? Was it Raila Amolo Odinga and the guys who came up with this particular report? Because the particulars of this report would have been, we need the issue for IEBC solved by this date, before the courts come in and say, well, what's going on?
Thank you very much. Now, this is a state of affair. And being a state of affair, I normally say that to know the state of affair, we have to look at the state of the people. This is something that is going to affect the people. So, in the reconstitution of IBC, there are 3 mitigation measures that have to be looked at. Very important. Transparency, and we will also have legal reforms. We have to look at the constitution of IBC, or rather the appointments of the IBC. The greatest measure that we are supposed to be looking at among these 3 is the legal reforms. The legal reforms will clearly indicate, and it will tell you, that the appointment of IEBC commissioners is being done by the president. It is going to be approved in the National Assembly. You get it? Then they'll tell you that is an open, it is in a degree of bipartisan consensus that proves transparency as indicated in the Constitution. The question now remains here. Do we have a competent executive? Do we have a competent president that can help us in the appointment of these IEBC commissioners based on the things that we've seen in the past? You see, this is not an issue that is new to us. This is something we've discussed since time immemorial. about this issue of IEBC. The problem could, the first step could have started when, before the court orders, or rather, before the court rulings to put President Ruto to power, when the 4 IEBC commissioners opposed the results. That is where the problem could have started, and serious investigations and transparency could be outlaid to Kenyans. Why am I saying this? Because you cannot tell me that IEBC as an independent body that is supposed to be working under in one wing, there is still a branch side of it that is opposing results that to the public has been outlaid as being with some honesty and transparency in it. You get me? So the question is supposed to be here, and I'm still pinning on this matter.
Yes.
Do we have a competent president, or rather a competent executive that can help us in the appointment of these IEBC commissioners? That is where the problem is.
Does it?
Yes. Now, look at our president. Look at this issue of taxation. Look at this issue of these national, I will call them these international adventures, because I've not seen anything substantial that comes out of those international adventures. We are going to assume a lot of things. We saw the other time when Ruto went to France to seek matters, economic mitigations to try and cover the economic disaster. The thing Gachagua yesterday was talking about in Embu, that they, inherited empty coffers. It is the same France that Ruto went to seek support from. The farmers in France are protesting against President France over poor agricultural policies. So what does that tell you? It is this same France that we saw the West African countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger have cut ties with because of exploitation of their resources. So this guy will always associate with himself with people like him, with corrupt in status.
Yes.
Yes, those are the people he will always associate himself with.
Yes.
We cannot trust Ruto in the appointment of IEBC commissioner. As someone, I believe that I'm a man of honor, and I'm well qualified as a deputy president in 2027 in case someone picks me.
Yes.
I will come up with a serious mitigation measure on this one. We need universal suffrage in the appointment of IEBC commissioners.
Yes.
Then the other things follow. With that one, Elijah, I believe that at least I can vote you in as a chairman of IEBC, because I believe that there are some of the things you have that the people of Kenya needs.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it. Just before I cross over to you, Joyce, he says that indeed, even as we say, can we trust the president then to come in and select this particular panel? Yeah. I mean, he's followed the law on it, and I will tell you exactly what he did back in 2022. And if you do remember, we did have the IEBC Amendment Bill 2022 that was signed into place. Now, here's the thing, that in a Gazette notice that was dated February 1st, 2023, the president declared 6 out of the 7 positions open pending the hearing and determination of a case against suspended Commissioner Irene Masit. That was back in 2023. And remember, she did leave office as well. Now, let's go back here and then read exactly what the president said. Now, in exercise of powers conferred by Section 7A(2) of the Independent Electoral Boundaries Act 2011, as read, I, William Samoei Ruto, then the President of the Republic of Kenya and in Chief of the Defense Forces, declares vacancies of these 6 positions, okay? Yeah. But if you go back then and look at this particular constitution, I mean, Ruto went ahead and appointed commissioners or people were supposed to lead in this particular exercise. And I'll read for you the names this morning. Simba. We do have Bethwell Sugut, Novins Atieno, Charity Kisotu, Evans Misati James, Benson Guginjeri, Nelson Makanda, and Fatma Saman to lead the exercise. Simba, just before I cross over to Joyce, that if you were to question the credibility of the president in this particular exercise, he would already exonerate himself. He would tell you, I just follow the law. I mean, I have powers confined to me by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya to appoint people who would come in and give you the IEBC selection panel. That's what I've done. But now listen to this, Simba, because this is where the conversation then begins, and the same question that I'm going to put over to Joyce. The Azimio coalition looks at that and says, there is no way a president can pick people that are sitting president who would probably might run again, can pick people who can come in and pick the IEBC commissioners. So this is what they're proposing. And Simba, I want you to listen to this carefully. This is what they said. In this IEBC selection panel, the Azimio coalition came in and said that we recommend the establishment of an expanded IEBC selection panel from the current 7-member to a 9-member selection panel. In fact, if you do see in those recommendations, they even want party agents, that's the chief party agents from major political parties in the country to be part of that selection panel. They went on to say that if you look at that particular selection panel, that it is so much skewed to the president, who has the powers then to pick who's supposed to be in that selection panel. I mean, what's the difference, Simba? What's the difference?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Number one, we know that Kenya is governed by the rule of law. Kenya being governed by the rule of law, the people we've placed there to govern us, or rather to preside over us, I'm still on this part of the executive, the president as a person.
Yes.
The president has been known all over the decade as a lying political prototype. Yes. And we've seen this over and over again. All these things that the measures that he's putting into place, all those things are crafted. The other time you had William Ruto talking about, I will quote his words, nimejipanga bwana, hata ikifika pale 2027, mtu ya kitendawili, atapata hata mtu pale kwa ground ya IBC. It means that this is someone who is power hungry. The only plan Ruto has, and I'll keep on repeating is, Ruto only has a plan to put him into power. Ruto does not have a plan, or rather measures, for economic stability of this nation. Therefore, anything that you see Ruto crafting, he can come here today and tell you that being the constitution has given him that mandate, which we will abide by, because we believe that the constitution is what helps us in governing this country.
Yes.
He will try to, each of us understand the constitution in our different ways.
Yes.
Whether you see him coming here today, Elijah, and telling you that I'm going to give you that mandate to come up with your other members to form a board of commissioners in the IEBC.
Yes.
Those are just crafted methods that the president is coming with. I have told you that is a lying political prototype. We've seen this over and over again. During the Mo Ibrahim governance conversation in KICC, let me just mention quickly governance in KICC.
Yes.
Ruto said something about these international trips, that there is no need an African country goes outside Africa to sit in a summit to discuss Africa. How long did it take before we saw Ruto using KQ flights going to attend an Africa-Italy summit in Rome? It was not long. So if someone who will completely mean the opposite of what he says, if he comes here today and tells you that he's going to build a mansion for Lookuptv, just know that it is completely the opposite of what he means, and he does not have the interest of the people at heart. That is what I'm trying to say here. Another thing, we've seen the issues of corruption that are embedded in the office of the president over and over. It is not something that has started again. This is someone who has been in power for the past 30 years. And the corruption scandals that he has been started all the way when he was a youth. You can remember during the reign of YK92. And people like Jirongo, who was working with Ruto, clearly told us before election that electing William Samoei Ruto as the president of this country will be the biggest and the most dangerous thing Kenyans will have to endure for 10 years. I will use only 3 years at the moment because we want to kick him out, and I'm anticipating for that. People still went on and elected William Samoei Ruto, which I don't believe that those elections were credited. Now, there is one big thing that we are assuming about this president, William Ruto.
In respect to ABC?
Yes, in respect to that, there is something we are assuming.
Yes.
We saw the last year's election, the elections that are supposed to be presided over by IEBC, some things, or rather hidden cocoons, Like, what was the name of this guy? The guy who was being mentioned over this computer rigging and all that.
The foreigner.
Yes.
I can put a finger on. Yes.
Yes. Why would we experience things like those? We are supposed to put serious measures. In fact, as we are talking right now, if we want to get a seriously reconstituted IEBC, we are supposed to put check on the president. Because one, all these international trips that the president is conducting, they are not for the benefit of our nation. The president is leaving behind serious diplomatic traits, or rather diplomatic leaks that are putting our country into danger. The other day we saw the ex-prime minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, being jailed for 10 years in prison because of diplomatic leaks. That tells you how serious this thing is.
Yes.
If we want a reconstitution of IEBC, we are supposed to formulate a law, or rather reconstitute a law that allows the IEBC to be reconstituted through universal suffrage.
Yes.
With that, I believe the people will have the willpower to appoint, or rather elect, the commissioner whom they believe would work in accordance to their will.
But that's why I'm coming to you, Joyce, as well, on this particular one. I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at the views of the Azimio coalition in terms of that particular selection panel, they've got no problem with the president essentially deciding who's going to be there, but then they want to dictate who's going to be there. They're saying, well, expand it so that even if you're picking, we also have a representation in that particular selection panel. That at the end of the day, we also have a representation in that commission that is going to pick the IEBC commissioners. We're not saying, no, do not pick them, but then could you expand the constitution of that selection panel to 9 so that 2 essentially would even come from what we think we as the parties need to be represented in that selection panel. And that, they didn't want to interfere with the mandate of that particular commission. They're saying, well, give us a representation as well. Do they have a point now? Do they have a point? Like, we want representation in that commission without interfering with the mandate?
Thank you, Rajan. Politics is all about interest. If my interest is not taken care of, then I have issues to contest with.
Yes.
Allow me to only take you one step back. Kenyans are looking into the goodwill of the president. Allow me to take you back to the 2022 general elections. When the 4 Chirela found that they could not work with the 3, and then they were taken to a public scandal, scrutiny. 3 of them opted not to be heard, but one commissioner who deemed that her sentiments and her facts needed to be dealt with, tabled her facts, Irene Masit. This is all about goodwill.
Yes.
Did that tribunal listen to the message and the facts that Irene Masit had? Your guess is as good as mine. That everything that she said, the facts that she had was trashed. That's where the Kenyans felt that the goodwill of the president is diminishing. Because if he listened to what Masit had said in her facts, deal with don't deal with the 3, deal with the only one that opted for her facts to be listened by the tribunal. Kenyans started checklisting the president. Go back before the general elections. On the eve of the general elections, 2 counties, the seats, the post of the governor was kept. This is Mombasa and Kakamega. Was it by design or default? Was it that the ballots were not marked? For 45 counties, the ballots were marked, but deliberately from Kakamega and Mombasa, they were skipped. How selective is that printing machine that it can print Nairobi and not print Kakamega and Mombasa? What do you think those Kenyans from Kakamega and Mombasa felt? The message of goodwill. That from the word go, the goodwill is diminishing. That you can afford to have all these 47 electoral possession filled in. But for Kakamega and Mombasa, you skip it. Go to the selection panel. In the midst of all this drama and in the midst of all this harassment, we are not happy. We are happy, we are not happy. You come up with 7 members of the committee, and you are the one who is choosing who is selecting who will be on that desk. Somebody tells you, even before we go to the street, Kaidre include my party, the Interparty, the APPG. Kaidre consider our vested interest. The political parties that were there in 2017, the numbers were lesser. The political parties that we have in 2022, the numbers are many. Kaidre, before you go ahead, can you consult? Elijah, let me tell you. Anybody who makes a move without deliberately consulting the 3 of us who are in this sitting, any decision that comes out from this sitting, then it is in dispute.
But then the president didn't have to listen to my views and your views because the law is quite clear. I mean, the president just knows very well if there's a crisis at the IEBC, I'm conferred powers within the constitution to go in and solve it. The president had an issue with the way the elections were run, and that's why he moved in and solved it. Did he have to consult?
He did. He had to consult. It is just an issue. It is just an issue of a call away.
Yes. Fine, and I completely get you. For the sake of every other Kenyan who's listening this morning, that will say we follow our 2010 constitution, and that's exactly what we want to change through the NATCO report. That's exactly what we want to change through the NATCO report. That up until 2022, we didn't have this issue here. President comes in, the commissioners here who are saying, well, we don't like the way the elections were run, and majority of them essentially want to leave, isn't it? So I just want us to take a tiny breather right here on this particular conversation. Once we come, Joyce, the question is that up until 2022, the president didn't have to listen to any other person who's talking about how you're reconstituting EBC because we were quite clear how the process goes in the 2010 constitution. That's the question we're going to answer once we come from this break, because indeed another question that we have to answer is, did the courts get it wrong? Should have the court said, go back and table the NATCO report, as opposed to that panel that was constituted, let it go right ahead and do the interviews right here on the Morning Draft.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park, fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
Save a Life is a non-profit organization that has taken the front line in transforming lives in the entire country. So far, we have transformed life of over 100,000 people through our programs, which include medical support, youth empowerment, street family program, feeding program, and climate change. Join us today as we transform lives. As we always say, service to humanity is service to God. Save a life, transforming lives.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
Welcome back to the Morning Drift. We are talking about the intrigues of the IEBC reconstitution. Joyce, just before we went on break, we kept on talking about this when we were on break, that if you go back to that action that the president took back in 2022, saying that, well, through the powers conferred to me by the Independence and IEBC Section A of the Independent Election Boundaries Commission Act 2011, I hereby give you so and so and so to represent that selection panel that's going to pick the guys who are going to be IEBC commissioners. Good. And this is what they said as well, that if you look at the 2010 constitution, it's quite clear that in that you need to have the Parliamentary Service Commission, PSC, the Public Service Commission, PSC as well, Political Parties Liaison Committee, PPLC, the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, and Interreligious Council of Kenya. That in 2010, when we're drafting that particular constitution, Joyce, we figured it. We figured it. There's a selection panel should have this, and this. That if you want to represent political parties, they're here. That is under the Political Parties Liaison Committee. So the political parties are going to pick somebody they think is good to represent them. Or these people are already there. That if anybody wants who to come in, they will just go right in and call them onto that selection panel. The question here is, Joyce, that when it's the president picking these individuals, then the opposition calls that out. But when it's the opposition then to pick these particular individuals, they want the president to feel okay, that these individuals that we've given you are the ones that should sit in that particular committee. And they're also telling the president, increase it to 9. Not 7, as figured out in the 2010 constitution. So the president is like, why are we changing the law? I mean, the law is clear. Can't you let the law function? That's the question I'm asking this morning, Joyce.
Before we went to that good break, there was some heat in the room. And to me, I found a president who was not willing to discuss, negotiate, or even talk to somebody. The president wants to fix his own people. Even if we put aside the political parties, go to the interreligious community.
Yes.
These are groups that are self-regulating. And did he consult? During transition, every transition, all those groups are ready with their nominees. That tomorrow we are going to meet a new government. This government will require the following. So when that president comes in, these are our nominees. Did he consult? Perhaps even their Corino members, or even Dini Msaboy, were not consulted when even we come to the 2 slots from the interreligious community. So I believe the president did not consult. He took what is provided for in the IBC Act, took advantage of it without even consulting, because if he literally consulted, then we will not be having this question that we're having today.
Yeah. Yes. Does the constitution, we're coming back to you, Joyce, on that. There's so many questions that are also emanating from this particular one. Does the constitution sort of figure a scenario under this Independent Boundaries Commission Act of 7A, all right? And I will read it. If you read it, it says, in exercise of the powers conferred by Section A of the Independent Election Boundaries Commission Act 2011, all right, the Act, as read with paragraph 1, Section 2 of the first schedule to the Act 1, I, William RUTO, President and then Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defences, appoint to the selection panel the following members. That is clear. I mean, if you read it, Also, the act doesn't foresee a scenario where the president has to reach out and say, what do you think about that individual? What do you think about that individual? The Constitution has already given him where to get these people from. So in his right mind, he knows very well that religious leaders will play their role on that selection panel. The political parties, liaison committee, also play their role on that selection panel. Any other person from LSK, from JSC, from PAC is going to play their role in that particular selection panel. That the Constitution didn't envision me coming to you as Azimio coalition to tell you, I'm picking so and so, what do you think?
What I want to say about, and I want to support what Chair Lady Joyce has said, there was no transparency. We don't have a problem with the appointments. We don't have a problem.
When you say transparency, what is this transparent? I mean,
that is what I want to
That's it. Let's
transparency. A serious, candid conversation about this. We need a report from the PSC. We need a report from the opposition team, political opposition team. We need a report from the religious committees, and we need a report from the LSK about their stand on those appointments. That is now what we call transparent. It is not fully constituted as a legal reform for him to appoint without the order of the others.
Yes.
You see, the president appointing IEBC commissioners, and it's been approved in the National Assembly, it is clearly stated in the legal reforms that is supposed to be in consultation with the opposition team. Who are the opposition team in the country? I think we know if this is state of affairs and we are talking about state of affairs.
Yes.
The opposition team is the popular legitimacy at the moment. In that category, we want a report from the opposition, from the religious committee, something that can be seen in 3D.
Yes.
Because Kenyans are watching, and this is something that is going to affect us directly come 2027. This is now, after that transparency, this is now what will ensure a degree of bipartisan consensus. Now that is what we call transparent.
Yes.
But the president sitting down and appointing some of the people in a committee thinks that we don't know even where these people have come from. The opposition have not made their report. The PSC have not made their report. LSK have not made their report. The religious committee have not made their report. So there is no transparency in that. And if we sit down and wait for the president crafted plans, let me use the word, selfishly crafted plans to go on, then we are going to experience the same problem we experienced in 2023 and over the past years. So Kenyans have to come out strong and oppose those selfishly crafted plans that William Samoei Ruto is trying to impose on us. We have to obey the Constitution, just like what you said. The Constitution clearly gives him that mandate to appoint. But in consultation, that is what he is avoiding, and that is what we don't want to talk about. In consultation, the people were supposed to be consulted, clearly mentioned, PSC, the Political Opposition Committee, Religious Committee, LSK, and the other PSC, because there are two. Have they come out publicly or through, have they done something like maybe a memorandum of understanding on the same? Because something has to be clear, and we need transparency on this. This is what we are crying for.
And I get you. Any other person listening to this will understand exactly the concerns that you're representing on this particular panel this morning. But then somebody will also flip it and tell you, well, if PAC is not essentially said we're not consulting on the appointment of probably Simba to that particular panel, if the religious committee has not come in and said, well, that guy was appointed, we do not know about him, if the political parties liaison committee has not said, well, guys, we were not consulted on this particular one, it means then that these particular bodies that are essentially supposed to have a representation of this particular panel are okay with these appointments, which essentially, from where the president is seated, gives it a green light, that the only people who have a problem with it are the opposition.
If the opposition have a problem with it, then it means still there is no transparency, because we have to come, all of them have to come to a quorum. You see?
Yes.
Which
is why somebody asked then, Joyce, about coming back to you, Simba, which is why somebody asked then, I mean, even indeed the Constitution is clear on who you need on that particular place there. If you have a problem with one member of the political party's liaison committee, because now these are bodies that are represented in this election panel, why didn't the Azimio coalition come in and say, well, we have a problem with that member of the Political Parties Liaison Committee? Because the 2010 Constitution said we have to represent political parties in it, and let's have one member from the Political Parties Liaison Committee.
You just asked before that.
Yes.
It entails a lot of wisdom and use a lot of intelligence. Why are you starting a war that you cannot manage? Instead of, because the Constitution is clear.
Yes.
Why premeditate and wait for that war? Instead of going that direction, why not sit down with these people? These people are calls away.
Yes.
Royal Society of Kenya has its own framework of the leadership.
Yes.
The Interreligious Council of Kenya do not have, say, that kind of leadership. Who was consulted when it came that morning? Who was called?
Yes.
Who gave out the names? Immediately when the National Assembly was sworn in, there was a discussion to the National Assembly. Who are the majority members in this house? Let us go back there. For our own definition in this meeting here, who are the majority in that house, even today as we sit? Don't you think we've crossed the swords? That the deemed majority members, the UDA, do not equal, are lesser by 12 members, excluding the members of the independent parties. So what here we are calling the opposition are not literally defined in law as the opposition. Those are members of the National Assembly that are majority, that have majority seats. So again, you flip sides. So what you are deeming to be the opposition, in essence, are not members of the opposition. Don't even start buying off the members from the Jubilee or even the other parties. So here we had a lot of craftiness on how we are going to manage it.
Yes.
So even in future, even when we come to this selection committee, even if you are going to bring in those kangaroo styles of operating,
yes,
again it will hit a dead end. So instead for going for that direction, this time round, let him use wisdom. Let him call out to certain persons. Whom do I put on these two other slots? If you are going to maintain status quo on the provisions of the Constitution,
yes,
then it's going to bring another storm in a cup of tea.
Tanzan, Semba, just to open you up to another conversation on this. Now, I keep on referring back to the NATCO report because there were statements that were made on the back of the tabling of this report that are now opener to discussion that we're having here this morning before you come back and complete your thoughts. Now, and I want to read it to you. I mean, it's a story that we also covered on www.lookuptv.co.ke. I want to make a reference to that. Just type in REBC reconstitution or REBC agreement. Now, this is it. Even as we talk about here today, those gentlemen and ladies who are seated at the Bomas of Kenya agreed on this new model for reconstituting IEBC. In fact, those are some of the first issues that they agreed upon. And I want to read for you here. And this is Minority Leader Opiyo Wandai's statements from last year, that we have come to an agreement that we shall have a reconstitution of our IEBC selection panel. And this reconstitution, the membership of this IEBC selection panel is going to increase from the present 7 to 9. Of course, encompassing various shades of opinion and interest groups and persons. That's what he said. So there are 2 members here that were essentially supposed to be completely new in that selection panel. Now, let's go in and then say, well, since they knew very well that they are talking about the reconstitution of IEBC, what was to follow? Here it is. We agreed, now this is according to Ms. Mbarire, who's saying that we agreed that we develop a framework on the audit of the electoral process that's going to be done in the next 2 weeks. We should be able to have a clear framework about that. On the selection panel of IEBC, they're saying this. Now, once this IEBC selection panel is reconstituted, it is going to embark, now wait for it, without any delay on a fresh exercise of the selection persons to be nominated as IEBC commissioners and the person to be appointed as IEBC chairperson. So, Simba, as we sit here today, the courts have made a ruling to go back to that selection panel that was put in place by President Dr. William Ruto back in 2022 or 2023 thereof, when they were essentially given a mandate to call in for interviews. Did they get it wrong? Because now we got to start asking these questions from here. Because if you listen to the secretariat of this particular NATCO report, they're telling you, we've agreed, it's going to be as fast as possible. The moment it's constituted, they're going to start the selection panel is going to be in place, and they will start the interviews. You'd like to think that there was no problem with that there wasn't a problem on the ground. And what we're talking about here, the courts get it wrong by saying, go back to that panel, knowing very well that that report, which they also passed as law, by the way, if you do remember, but the National House and the Senate House, they said that any other discussion that's going to come from that particular committee is going to be deemed law. So the court had two areas to go to as it stands, Simba. Either to go to the NATCO report or go back to what the president had done back in 2023. Did they get it wrong?
Now, first of all, let me recap on what Chair Lady Joyce has said.
Yes.
I heard you say something like the president should apply some wisdom this time around. The president has no wisdom. He has no wisdom. This is a botany graduate, incompetent botany graduate who knows nothing on mitigation matters concerning the economy or state affairs.
Yes.
Yes. So that one I just wanted to recap. Those don't give credit to someone who does not deserve the credit. Another thing, secondly, up to now, there is no public confidence that has been built to enable us give a benefit of doubt to IBC. Personally, as Simba, I will tell you that there is no iota of evidence that can make me support the outlaid laws in the constitution of IBC. I stated it earlier, and I will keep on stating this. We don't have a problem in adhering to the constitution that the president is supposed to appoint the IEBC commission. The problem comes in because I stated earlier that there is no public confidence. The opposition team, being that they are still not contented with the process, they are part of that public confidence. I am part of that public confidence. Elijah, you are part of it. Joyce, you are part of it. If they are not satisfied, or rather if we are not satisfied with and there is no public confidence in the reconstitution measures that have been put to place, then what is supposed to be done? They go back to the table. You get me right? Another thing that we are assuming, the president has parliamentary majority. The president has governing corporate majority. That is one thing we are assuming. The PSC is a part of the governing corporate majority. Yes. If they do not do a letter in support of the same, we are not going to sit here and assume this. We obviously know the letter that they'll do tomorrow or any other day is going to be in interest of the president, because the president has governing corporate majority and the PSC is part of this. I will assume, I don't know about the religious committee because they've not talked about the same. So this leaves that as at a very fragmented point that we only have the opposition. Get me? So the opposition has to come out strong and apply the law of popular legitimacy, where brings us back to the fact that I started with saying that the reconstitution of IEBC, a serious law has to be put, that the reconstitution of IEBC has to be done through universal suffrage. Then all the other things followed. Simba, if we do this through universal suffrage, and we get 5 competent members supported by the people of Kenya, elected. These are people that if we put to the National Assembly for vetting, or rather for approval, if we don't get 3 right, at least we can get 2 right, who can stand for us. But we cannot trust, and I will keep on repeating, we cannot trust an incompetent president in the appointing of IEBC commissioners, or him appointing representatives that are going to appoint IEBC commissioner. All the methods that President Ruto is going to bring on the table are selfishly crafted methods. Yes.
So somebody would ask this question then, Joyce. I mean, they've already agreed that the contention point is in the numbers. I mean, there's an interview process, and we do know how majority of the interviews go. You go in, the rest of the members on the panel will give you percentages, and then after that, you'll get the overall percentage. And we like to think that's how the interview process is going to be. So, what is this thing that we haven't seen, that the opposition has already seen in the 2 members? If we're gonna want percentages, and they don't have a problem with the president picking any other people from these areas that the constitution has picked, from the PAC, PPLC, religious representation. It's too going to change the outcome if that's the bone of contention. If we sit here and say it's going to be a very, very open interview in this election panel, and if Simba goes in as one of the interested parties to be an IBC commissioner, they would interview you collectively and award you marks based on your performance when you appear on that selection panel. What are two members going to do to affect the final percentage of maybe one or two members that the opposition want to be an IBC commissioner?
Thank you, Elijah. Yesterday in some discussion that we had, and it came out quite clear,
yes,
that there is no template for the interview. You are saying, I'm using your words, that you are saying that interviews will be done and awarding will be awarded.
Yes.
Where is the template for that interview?
Do we need to set the template?
Yes. Allow me to give credit to Lookuptv. They did a lot of interviews based on holistic issues, and they gave one job to somebody because they had a template for awarding. This group do not have templates for awarding. Perhaps even the poorest could be given the highest marks without a clear definition of what you're looking into. The templates for governance. We started on a wrong footing. Why Kenyans are hesitant? That immediately when this government was sworn in, people went to court. They were cleared. Those persons who are not deemed to be fit were cleared to run for offices. I will not mention names. So if they were cleared to run for offices and they had bad reasons for the members of public to say that they had erred in governance issues, so even the members that will be elected and perhaps awarded the best marks may not even be the best persons to run the commission. So these two people that will be brought on board perhaps may give a definition of a template. Let us have a template for awarding of these marks so that the three of us, when you do an interview on a certain subject, we can award. And the different methods that each of us will award, then you can do an averaging. So yes, there's no definition of.
Yes.
There's no definition. It's all crowded in darkness.
Yes.
And where everything is crowded in darkness, Kenyans have a reason to fear.
In this selection panel, there's even PAC, there's LSK. I mean, like to think that it's quite an informed panel. And if you're going to look for a template, you will say that these are people who come from offices that essentially have templates as well. I mean, the PAC interviews government officials. You like to think that when they sit on that panel, and we've seen how interviews are done, public interviews are done before, we've seen how the CJ interviews are done before. You like to think it's going to be on a performance basis. You're going to tell us exactly how you're going to conduct elections. You're going to tell us exactly what reforms you're going to introduce in IBC.
When we listen to the live interviews going on, it is, I would say, it's a stage-managed process. When Joyce picks her pen to award Elijah, is it, do we seek the members of public in terms of the points that are used code? No. Listening to the process is a different story altogether than awarding the marks therein. The marks that are awarded therein are not subject to public discussion. That when you ask a question on governance, I should have awarded 10, you awarded 3. Members of public will not be subject to those facts.
Yes.
So it will be an open process, will be put on live on all the TVs, but the awarding process will be subject to members of the panel too. Only last week, one senator went to his village, local village, and said that they are fixing the LSK. I don't know whether you had that discussion. So if they manage to fix the LSK and the one membership of the LSK
yes,
is appointed to that selection committee, Elijah, What do you expect? That from the word go, you've started fixing the leadership of the LSK. And unfortunately or fortunately, those names read at that desk. What do you think of the process? 3, April last year, we had an incident at Maridi, the Shakahora issue. Who was selected to lead that committee in terms of review on the regularization, the code of conduct for the members of the churches, the Interreligious Council. So it's already a compromised group. So they've been asked on matters what I as the president, because I did not consult you on day one when it comes to the IBC constitution.
Yes, yes.
When it comes to now other issues, allow me to fix now your representation. Look into the representation of that committee, the 2 committees that were selected by the president during the Shakahora issue, are all membership of the Interreligious Council. So on this one, they've been compromised. They've been asked, can you keep quiet? Because I gave you an offer. Today, that those 2 committees are still in office. They are earning salaries. The Shakahora issue have not been concluded. So again, you see, we are seeing a concerted effort. We are seeing a concerted effort to compromise process after process after process after process. So even if we listen to the interviews going on in public, when it comes to awarding, the president will have his say and his way.
That's Sheila, about your message on our group this morning, could you kindly answer? Because I need 3 minutes then to complete this particular final question that I have for you this morning. Simba, we gotta end it this morning like this. Then, if we could afford 2 minutes before we step out. When you look at what it is now, the opposition and the members who are seated at the Bomas of Kenya, they have seen what the courts have said. I mean, you woke up this morning, or actually yesterday evening, and you were told the courts have already ruled on it, and it is what it is. What next? 2 minutes. We step out.
Now,
what next? What next, Simba? I mean,
you know, first of all, talking about what Charlie Juice just said, then on the court matters, you cannot, the law of diminishing returns in economics, you cannot build to acquire, then again pay to acquire. Yes. So, President Ruto is governing Kenya on probabilities. We need a surety. He needs to govern us on a surety. You see, my point is, you cannot appoint, then approve. It is not making any sense. Just like I started saying that, the president has parliamentary majority, he has corporate majority. That is just like appointing, then approving. It doesn't matter any mitigation measures that the president puts on the table, even that selection panel itself. How are we assured that the selection panel is going to do in accordance? First of all, Kenya being governed by the rule of law. Who was given a governor mandate to present the president in appointment of IEBC commissioners. It is completely unconstitutional, and you'll agree with me on this. It is unconstitutional. So if we want this thing to go direct to the point, and we get serious IEBC commissioners, we must not allow the president to appoint and acquire. Yes. We must not allow the law of diminishing returns to take over at this moment. We are supposed to put all the 5 members team in that panel, have a candid conversation. We need transparency. We need them to come out with a memorandum of understanding. And if one member of that committee is in disagreement of the same, they are not supposed to use the, what do we normally call this, democracy, the 4-1 or rather 3-2. Even if one member is in disagreement of the same, they go to the table, disagree until they agree. Because that is what we want.
Simba, we gotta step out. Please, Joyce, 15 seconds. What is going to be the response for the Azimio coalition as we step out, Joyce? 15 seconds.
Members of the opposition, I wish you well. We need a lot of prayers. If push comes to shove, let us hit the ground again to the streets. Let us hit.
Thank you very much.
If push comes to the shove, and there is no concession whatsoever, and nobody is willing to listen, let us hit the
We go back to the ground.
That's
Yes,
it. Yes, but I'll be calling you two guys back because they were waiting to see exactly what they're going to say after the court's ruling, whether that is going to be them not listening to the courts. We're going to define it. I'll call them back. Joy, Simba, always a pleasure to have you around. Thank you very much. Once we come back then, we'll be telling you exactly how you're going to start your year. It's very early. It's just February. You have another 11 months to go to complete this year. Apparently, not apparently, there's always a plan to success. What is that? You don't want your year to be successful this year. What is that plan for success? Once we come back on the Morning Drift this morning.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
Tere, mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Bua muka we mse. Nini mbaya? Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya, lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time, hata angalia barabara. Mamiseni dereva tusimame. Wewe dereva wewe, mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 1000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitampeleka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
What about mambo fantastic if not scholastic? Chota kuchota na heti ya supermarket imerudi. Ukifanya tu shopping ya shilingi 1000, wewe unaingia kwa promotion ya chota kuchota na heti ya supermarket. Watu wanaendelea kushinda ndani ya heti ya supermarket.
Ni yangu.
Mwana tata, kitoko. Wewe na
umeshinda nini? Yote. Hamsa, uombe na lala.
Karibu ndani ya heti ya supermarket uweze kuchota kwa wingi kabisa. Watu wanasema nini? Nakwambia kwamba chota kuchota. Unangoja nini?
Magari 7 za kushindaniwa, TV, fridge, microwave, shopping vouchers, school fees vouchers, instant prizes na zawadi zingine kemkem. Chota kuchota imethaminiwa na Hetias, Oven Fresh Bakery, Gigabyte, Mount Kenya Milk, Clover's Food Products, Velvex, Magic Drink, Pwani Oil, Arenco, Fruit Juice, Masterchef, Toilex, Coolsip, Mika, Wash Ultra, Philos, Prestol, Nivea, My Choice, Ushindi, Fresh Fry, Arimis Jelly, Cabernet Water, Dettol, Ketepa, Meta, Glucose, Coca-Cola, Rosy Tissue, Big Giant, Elbins, Unilever, Fresh, Unga wa Dola, Blue Band na Pasta Star. Shindano la chota kuchota linaanza tarehe 1 Disemba hadi tarehe 10 Februari mwaka 2024.
Hetia Supermarket, a world of choice.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi. which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park, fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
This is the Morning Drift. You are watching Lookuptv. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kinyaga. Thank you very much for being a part and parcel of our broadcast this morning, all the way from 7 a.m. We're still charting the time this morning. And for now, you know what they say? You can't tell somebody Happy New Year in February. It's 1st of February. Apparently, Kenyans have timelines. I saw one that they said by the 3rd day of the new year, the Christmas tree should be out of your house. Pack it up and put it under the bed or in the store, whatever it is. And then they say by mid-January, stop telling people Happy New Year. Guys are really very sad, paying school fee. Guys are broke. They're thinking about how to fight the January blues. So you confuse them. So the only thing that you can tell people is, I want you to succeed this year. So people are just looking for plans to make more money, recoup the losses that they've essentially gone through in a 2023 as they chart a new year and a 2024. So we're not gonna wish you a Happy New Year. No, because even inflation by there for this month is a 6.9% imepanda, yeah, because of school fee and high electricity prices. So if I tell you Happy New Year, I'm not making sense to you. What I'm gonna do here is move away from Happy New Year and Happy New Month, might not be very happy, and tell you that I'm gonna table to you a formula for success. No, it's something that you may wanna hear. Yeah? Interesting. Okay, now I know you have your pens and papers out then. And then after that, we're gonna weigh in whether indeed you know this formula. It's one of those shows where I also sit back. I've got a lot of questions. I also like to learn about these particular things. One of the articles that I've written this year is how to get ahead of the curve on a personal level. And I'll tell you, it's on our website on www.lookuptv.co.ke. On getting ahead of the curve is things that I do on a daily basis that I think make my head stay above the water. But that essentially is not the formula to for succeeding. Because even as I'm writing about it, I need that formula then to even succeed in the little things that I'm trying to do within that routine. So joining us this morning is somebody that I respect, somebody that I consider a teacher to me and my life, because I'm also going to learn today. I've got a couple of questions and notes. Sianto, how are you doing? Very well, thank you. Happy to have you around.
Thank you. Thank you, Simba, for inviting me.
For people who want to know what she does, she's a personal and corporate life coach. So any other questions you may have about, your life, about your personal goals, your personal skills, what you must do with your career, she's right here. Okay. Let me start like this, Sianto, on a personal level. We're discussing about the formula to succeed, and you're saying, indeed, there is a formula to succeed, and there's a good thing that we're doing it early this year.
Yes.
When I start the year, I've stopped writing goals and visions for this year. It's like I told you, I said, on a wider scope, I want to succeed. But then I said, for me, on a daily basis, I'm going to have 3 goals. And I want to meet them every other day. Strive to meet these 3 I wake up, I write somewhere. Today I'm supposed to get this, and this done. And I keep on reminding myself that by the end of that day, I've got to meet this before I sleep. If you ask me whether I have a formula, I don't have it. I just live by the day.
Okay.
But taking the 3 goals.
Yeah.
Let's first answer that question. Is there a formula for succeeding?
Yes. Yes, there's a formula for success. And I cannot really define it as this is what it is.
Yes.
But I can just capture it in threefold.
Yes.
The first one is the traits of success. There's something that you must exude as a person. Then number 2 is goals. Then number 3 is action. So those 3 they're actually the formula to success. But even before we go there, let's understand what success is, because it's such a very broad topic, and it's good for people to be able to understand what exactly it is. Now, we'll be able to understand it from looking at the perspective. Each and every person has a different perspective about success. So for some people, success means like looking at the outcomes that you desire. Have you achieved them? So the outcome could be wealth. Maybe you want to achieve 2 million or 10 million in a year. Maybe health, you want to be, toned and looking all nice.
Yes,
or maybe you want to increase your connections. So you already know the outcome that you're looking at. So that is what you call success as per your perspective. Now, there's another perspective of success, which is when you have an impartation to people, when you're able to impart something, when you're able to grow people, then you feel successful. When you're able to honor God, then you feel successful. So the difference between the two is that the first one, the fulfillment, there's usually a delay in fulfillment or in feeling that I'm successful. Because, for example, if your goal is to build a flat, how long will that take you in this economy, for example? Maybe some years. So are you delaying your satisfaction or your fulfillment because your perspective is that if I get this, is where now I feel like I'm successful, vis-a-vis that even today, I can have an impact on someone or in an organization, and today I feel successful and I feel fulfilled. So which perspective do you run with?
That's exactly, like the definition of success is broad.
It's broad.
People have different targets, isn't it? People have different things that they want to achieve.
Yes.
But I want us to talk about the 3 areas that you've started on. That's where majority of my notes are.
Yes.
Because when you tell somebody like, what are your personal traits? it's a broad area as well.
It is
broad. It is a broad area as well. Let's begin from now.
Yes.
I was looking at it yesterday, and then I learned that in this journey for success, you have to first know yourself, identify yourself. Not like, who am I?
Yes. Yes.
So that I don't start chasing $1 billion shillings by the end of this year.
Yes.
And really, I can't get the $1 billion shillings. So personal traits. When you say personal traits in relation to chasing success, what are you talking about here?
Yeah. So we're looking at the character that you must have for you to become successful.
Okay.
Yeah. And that character, we look at how disciplined are you. Today, I know I've already spoken about the 3 folds. I've told you there's traits, there's goals, and then there's action. So the first 2, we have really gotten information about them. And even I've spoken about goals here.
Yeah.
So maybe what I can just do is just touch quickly on the traits and the goals, and then now focus on what people are struggling with, and that is action part of it. And the reason why is that you can learn about the traits on maybe when you go for a conference, when you go for seminar, or even a book. Yeah, you can read on how do I become disciplined. How do you strengthen your will? So you must be a person who is very disciplined. Yeah. Another trait is that you have to be a person who is committed to your goal. You've set up your goal. You must be committed to it, regardless of how you're feeling. The other thing is that you must be able to focus. And how do you focus? You can say, okay, I can block 2 hours of my time and I just work, no distraction.
Yes.
So you must be someone who is able to focus. You must also be someone who is consistent. Because if you're not consistent, then there's no growth. There's no consistent growth. So if you've decided I'll be maybe going to the gym, maybe every day, you must go to the gym for you to be able to see the results. So you start small, step by step. Yeah? Now, the other character that you must have is that you must also be able to be a person who looks for connections. Successful people are very connected. Their social capital is quite strong. Yeah? So you must be able to attend seminars, attend conferences, maybe in line to what your career is all about, so that you're able to meet people and learn from them. Now, in connection with that, you also must be able to have a mentor. Successful people have mentors. Someone who is going to guide you on your journey to success. Because you can imagine, you have, maybe you've made some money, you have around 10 million, and you want to invest. So where do you go? Where do you go for counsel? Do you ask a friend who has never made that 10 million? Or you go to someone who has already, maybe even has invested 1 billion. And they tell you with 10 million, for you to be able to get returns, do A, B, C, D. Now, the other thing that people who are successful must have in terms of a trait is time management. Do you schedule your time? How do you spend your time, Simba? Do you just wake up and let the day run you, or are you in control of your day by having a schedule? So those are the traits that we must have for us to be able to experience success. And I know people know about this. I'm sure you've heard about discipline. I'm sure you've been told that you need to be consistent. And you know, but you're not able to do what you're supposed to do. The question is, why? Now, the second fold is goals. I have spoken to so many of my clients that yes, before even you set goals, you must know who you are, you know your purpose, then we set up goals. Yes, we have set up goals. Then how comes people are still not able even to carry on that goal that you have set up? So people are in a place whereby you are saying, okay, I know about consistency, I know about professionalism, I have a schedule for my time, I have set goals, but I am not doing anything. There's no movement, there's no growth. And the question is that the third now part of the equation of the formula is action.
Yes.
That is where the problem is.
That's where the problem is, isn't it?
That's where the problem is.
I want us to really save time on the rest of them. When I come back from the break and talk about action in this conversation for success, I want to take you back a little bit because I've got personal questions, and I think questions are going to meet essentially when you're talking to people about what your personal traits are, or what your goals are. The special question about personal traits, like you gotta be disciplined, you gotta be consistent. You know, Sianto, you think it's easy to tell somebody, I need you to be disciplined. People just don't. You know, the question I want to ask is that I know what discipline is. I know what consistency essentially entails. But if you want to speak on consistency today, or discipline today, because even discipline can be defined as consistency, for somebody who doesn't understand how to achieve consistency, where you want to pick it from?
Yeah.
When I come and tell you my problem is my problem is in discipline, what do you want to start talk to me from?
First of all, we'll actually start from very far. What do you want to achieve and why? Because, for example, if you have been told to do something and it's not something that is backed by your passion or your why, then even if you want to do it, you will not be consistent. You'll do it today because maybe you are required to do it, but you don't have the urge and the passion to do it again tomorrow. So we are starting from why do you want to take on this particular task?
So let me not just say that I want to be disciplined. There has to be a why.
Yes, there must be a why. And in terms of the part for the action, there is a reason that the things I ask my clients, and it's very important to ask yourself, why do I always procrastinate? Because it's something that affects your consistency. Why am I lazy? You know that, for example, yes, you have set your goal. That one you've done perfectly. You know that you're supposed to read a book. Today you've read, tomorrow you haven't. So could it be laziness? Could it be you're procrastinating? So you ask yourself, why? And that is what I've come to give answers today. Finding why are people not able to take action? Why are you not able to be consistent? First of all, why are you stuck? Yeah, is it because you have fear? Because also fear, let me tell you, fear really makes people not to move at all. You doubt yourself, you doubt your capabilities, then you're not able to move totally. So you feel stuck. So even if you have a goal and you're fearful, how are you going to achieve that goal? If you have a goal and you're supposed to do a specific task and you're fearful, you're doubting your capabilities, then how are you able to do that task? So today I want to really help
focus
people
on the action point, isn't it? Good. And we're going to come back, by the way, from this from the break that we're going to take. So we talk about that action part. There's a question that I got when we were talking about the area for goals. I just want you to briefly mention it, because I'm going to give you an entire segment, but we're going to talk about the action part.
Okay.
Somebody said, even like, can you grow within your goals? We're talking about this person who has never heard that there's a journey to success. There's a whole formula to success.
Okay.
And so they're in a very bad point. They're really bad. They got no formula. I usually say they live by the day. And then here you are telling them, the way I see you, you can change. As from tomorrow, this year can be your turnaround year. But that essentially becomes like a shock to them. So somebody asked me, is it possible that the goals can mature in the sense of the Sianto? I'm one person who doesn't know how to spend my money. I'm one person who doesn't invest. I'm one person who doesn't save. Or I'm one person who's into drugs and alcohol and all that. So a simple goal could be, can you probably save 10 shillings a day if you've never saved, at least for the first 1 month, before we talk about you graduating to investing monthly, before we talk about you know? Can the growth, can the goals mature as you assimilate yourself to the process? Is that something that is plausible? I got that question.
It is very possible. And actually that's what you've said is a starting point, whereby you first know what do you want, for example, to see in your marriage. I want to see love growing. I want to see a conflict resolution, coming on very well. So what do we do? First of all, you can actually come up with a goal that I will be having date nights with my husband on maybe on a particular day, on a Wednesday. That is a starting point. You can say maybe, okay, you can start even like once in a month, because it's something that you've not been doing. So first do that one. Meet, have a date. Then now, if that has happened, you increase the intensity. You move from once in a month, maybe to twice in a month. So the secret to achieving those goals is that start small. Today, just do something small on what you're supposed to do. And then increase the intensity as you go forward. And with time, after 66 days, then it becomes a habit. So you're now automating that task. So for example, if it's about reading, you can start by reading 1 page today, because it's something new we are starting. You've never been a person
a person who reads. I'm not going to tell you can read an entire book today.
So you've been that person who just chills on the couch. And your coach is telling you, by the way, we are going to start 1 page today. So today, just read 1 page. Don't even read 2 pages. Tomorrow, the same. Let's do that for like maybe 2 weeks. 1 page. Then we build the intensity. Can we go to 2 pages? It becomes easier, because now you're not struggling with starting. You are now increasing the intensity of your goal achievement. So it is possible. All goals, that you have to grow them slowly. And the danger of people wanting to do so much as you start is that at a certain point, you'll plateau, and then you'll just drop off everything. So we don't advise people to go big Start small, and then you build, after you've gotten the consistency, then build the intensity of the task. Then that goal becomes achievable.
It becomes achievable.
Oh, yes.
We're going to take a break shortly before we come and talk about the bigger part now, which is action. But there's another question again that is essentially emanating from the first two, that is knowing yourself and then setting your goals. That indeed, one of the things that you have to change completely is mindset. You know, people say mindset. It's like you gotta be a new person in this. Santo, do you need a turning point for mindset to change? And I get this question from time to time. That you find those people have completely changed, like have to get to the lowest point. Then these people completely change. That's when your mind or body tells you, we gotta do this. Now I'm gonna ask you a very special question in this. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. I normally have this conscious conversations about mindset. So I told them, you see, for me, my brain usually tells me, you gotta wake up at 3. Every other time, like it doesn't struggle with me. I don't even have to struggle in the morning to wake up. Wow. My brain usually tells me, we gotta wake up, we gotta wake up. But then my friend tells me, I wake up early. But there's this thing in me constantly telling me, hey, we gotta sleep, we gotta sleep, we gotta sleep, you know, but 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Told me I snooze my alarm for 2 hours before I wake up, so it's gotta start at 3 a.m. That mindset, 2 parts. There is your body, and then there's your conscious part that is telling you now, we're okay, we don't have to do this. How do you move out of that? Because unless then you change it, every other thing that you're talking about, goal setting and all that, will not be.
Actually, there's a secret to that, and it has nothing to do with mindset, and that is part of the discussion
on
today. Yes,
on action.
On action. There's a secret to how do you handle exactly that, because that's where people are stuck.
Pretty much.
It has nothing to do with your mindset.
It's got nothing to do with mindset.
No.
Fantastic. Then we've laid the conversation to what we're going to have then once we come from this particular break. Today, yes, you have goals. You've been told that you need to succeed. You've been told that you need to turn around your life. That's there. You know all that. I mean, you don't have to go anywhere. It's right there. So why are you not doing it? Sianto is going to answer those questions shortly then once we come from this tiny break. Once we come back, action point. Why are you not doing it? And how can you change it today?
Jamaa jo, mazena inflation jo na hii mafuta venye imepanda jo, mmefika at the right time. Mimi nakwambia wachezaji saa hizi tu ni kutoka hapa, kuingia mtaa, kutengeneza sima, wadishifiti, alafu tutane grau.
Leo tuko katika center inaitwa Kimta, ambapo hapa ni sehemu ambapo wanafunzi ama vijana wadogo wanakuja hapa kusoma, wanakuja hapa kukuza talanta yao, na wanakuja pia kujiinua kielimu.
Now through Kimta and the groups like Tatua Tatu, through pads, wasichana wataendelea kuendea shule vizuri, at the same time watakuwa healthy.
Yote ni kwa hisani ya Tatua Foundation. Na wakati wote ambapo unacheza Tatua Tatu, kumbuka kwamba 25% inakuja kusaidia masuala kama haya. Kwa hivyo endelea kucheza Tatua Tatu.
Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali na Manjoro. Kumbuka hapa ndipo unajifunza mambo mengi kuhusu ukulima. Kilimo ni uti wa mgongo wa nchi, na ukiwa na Njoro unajifunza. Kumbuka, angalia mwenyewe. Tunakuambia ukitaka kujua tips za ukulima, ungana na sisi kwenye Lookuptv every Sunday. Unatukuta pale saa 10, tunakuonesha kuhusu ukulima. Ukulima wa mimea, ukulima wa ng'ombe, ukulima wa kuku, ukulima wa mbuzi na yote ambayo yanahusiana na ukulima. Kumbuka nini? Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
At Lookuptv across all your social media platforms, my name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. I'm still here with Asianto. Now, this is where it begins, by the way. So for the next 30 minutes, we're going to tell you exactly why. Knowing all these things about success and what you need to do, why you have not been doing it. The last part in that plan for success, we've talked about having goals, we talked about changing your mindset and then knowing your personal skills. Could you have all that now? But why are you not doing it? That's what we're talking about now. Sianto, could we then start attacking that? What is the first reason as to why people just do not take action?
Yeah. Let's be very honest. Today I want us to be very simple and practical and honest. Some of us are just lazy. We like comfort over growth. When you're told to move from the couch and maybe go to the gym, you just feel lazy. You don't feel like doing anything. So laziness is actually a big aspect of us not taking action. We're just being lazy. Number two, procrastination. And it's also tied with laziness because if you're not able to take action now, you're saying, okay, let me do it later. Let me do it tomorrow. You're procrastinating your task. And these factors are usually intertwined because why are you procrastinating? Is it that you feel like you're not capable to accomplish that task? Mm-hmm. Are you doubting your skills? Or are you fearful to be judged by people? Because when you take action, for example, if you're a person, maybe you're in boxing, and you have to go out there at some point for people to view you as you box. But there are people who are not able to enter that ring, not because they're not capable, but they fear, if, for example, they get punched and they're on the floor, how will people judge them? So most people are not able to move because there is that fear of judgment. And it's something that we really have to overcome it. We have to come out of that. I feel like it's a bondage that people are in. Before you do something, for example, even if it's about work, what will my boss think of me? If I go and ask for a promotion, or if I go and ask for, maybe I want to move to a different department, you're already thinking of what will this person think of me. So instead of going, you stop. Because you're thinking, okay, probably she will say A, B, C, D, or maybe you're not even qualified. Why are you asking? So we need to move and start becoming bold people.
Yes.
We need to experience freedom in our lives, in taking action. Now, the other aspect of us really not moving forward is, for example, and this is just, we're just being real. There are no resources. You don't have finances, for example, even to leave your house. You don't have fare to go and do anything. So you feel stuck and you're in the house. For example, if it's a business you want to start and it needs capital, you don't have it. So what do? You don't take action. People are just in the house stressed. What does stress do? It brings depression. So people are in the house stuck. There are no finances. People don't have money. And now people are depressed. They don't even have that money to go and see a psychiatrist. Because for me, I don't deal with mental illness. That's not my part. Yeah, so I am not able to help people who are in that space. So people are stuck. The other thing that makes us to be stuck is that, and it's something I really need us to discuss about, is about comparison. You've woken up, you've gone to Facebook, or you've gone to Instagram, and you're looking maybe for people you used to be in the same high school or campus, even you've got to LinkedIn to check where are they in terms of their career. You find that someone is a CEO, and for you, you're in the house stressed and depressed. So with that kind of feeling, are you able even to do anything? You'll just take a blanket and sleep. So that aspect of comparison usually kills people completely in terms of action taking. It makes you lose hope. So this is what I'm saying, is that comparison is not bad, but can you even have a break from this social media for some time? If you're in that space where you're now working on yourself, if you're reinventing yourself, can you then just take a break so that you don't go to a page or you don't go and check on someone's status. They're driving a big car and you don't even have fare to go to town.
Yes.
So how are you going to work that day? You cannot work. So that is the other aspect of it. The other aspect of us just not taking action is because we don't have the skills that we're supposed to have, the knowledge that we're supposed to have. So for example, you're supposed to maybe help someone invest their money, but you don't have the skill and the knowledge to do it. Are you able to do it? No, you're not able to do it. So we must first come from a point of asking ourselves, what is making me stuck? Why am I not taking action? So those are the things you need to look at.
That's the audit now,
yes,
of your situation.
Yes.
But you have to sort of reference it to why haven't I done this?
Yes. And for example, if you are supposed to maybe go to, maybe do a presentation somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. And either you're postponing or you just don't feel like doing it. Ask yourself why. Do you fear people are going to judge you when you're speaking? That probably you're going to startle and then you don't, do the presentation. So there's always something that is holding you back. And people don't have that time to just sit down and ask yourself a simple question. Why am I stuck? I'm supposed to do this. Why am I not doing this? So those are the things that are making us get stuck. But now there's a secret things that you must do for you to start taking action. The way we are discussing about, you're telling me that for you wake up at 3 a.m. It's easy for you.
My brain has never told me otherwise. My brain usually knows 3 a.m. it is, and we're going to be up. Yes.
And for someone else, they have set up an alarm at 4. But at that, when the alarm rings or goes off, immediately the first thing that comes to your mind is sleep another 5 minutes. And by the way, let me tell you, that is where the problem is. We sleep. It is usually very hard to just go against that voice, that force that tells you to sleep. So the secret that I'm telling people is that you have to overcome that. It is a hesitation. How do you overcome that? Number one, very simple. Ask yourself, you're supposed to wake up maybe at 4 to read. You're reading so that you increase your knowledge. So ask yourself, what is the most valuable use of my time now at 5 o'clock? Is it sleeping or is it reading a book? You say it's reading a book. Now, the other thing that you have to do, which is a strategy that you must use, is called a 5-second rule. You have to count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've already answered that question, that yes, valuable use of my time right now is reading. So you then immediately count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why do you do that? Is that you overcome that hesitation. Once you have overcome that hesitation.
Hold on, Sianto. So you count 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
It's called a 5-second rule by Mel Robbins.
Does it?
Yeah. Once you do that, and it's something that I've practiced and it works for me, and I'm still practicing. Yes. So once you do that, then you must now accompany it with a push or a force, and force yourself to come out. Come out of the bed. So that counting backwards, it interrupts that voice, it interrupts that hesitation. So first of all, ask yourself that question. What is the most valuable use of my time now? Waking up, okay, yes, I'm going to read a book. Then you count 5, 4, 3, 2, and then you just get off the bed. Now, I want to explain something in regards to that. Maybe something simple that we find ourselves doing. Like, for example, in the health perspective of it, you want to stop using sugar. Maybe you want to start using stevia. So you're at the dining area, because you've been using sugar for quite a while, it is now already automated. So, and even if you have a goal of, I want to stop taking sugar, you'll find yourself already you've put sugar in your cup,
yes.
And then you've poured tea. And then even you start and you're already halfway the tea, and you're like, oh my God, no, I was supposed
to stop using sugar.
Because that bad habit is already automated.
Yes.
So what we need to do is that we must put ourselves in an environment that supports action taking of that particular thing. So for example, if it's tea, stevia is there. Stevia, the one that you can make a replacement with sugar.
Yes.
So ask yourself, what is the right choice for me right now? Is it stevia or sugar? So it is stevia, and you put it in the cup. So what we are saying is that we have to increase our self-awareness in what we are doing all the time, so that you don't catch yourself in being in that state of automation of bad habits, and you're trying to change that bad habit with a good habit. So you have to be present. You see, there we are told, like, brushing teeth becomes so automated. You don't even think about brushing teeth. You just go to the bathroom in the morning and you start brushing teeth. Now, what I'm telling people, can we start being present in the little things that we are doing? Because that's how you build that muscle of making the right choices that supports the goal that you have set. Now, for example, you're supposed to work. You're at home.
Yes.
We're talking now about the environment, and you're working from home, and maybe you have put your desk just close to your bed or something like that. Is that environment supporting work? You'll find yourself after 2 hours,
the bed is right there.
Yeah. So create a good environment for your goals. Yeah, don't just set goals and then you're saying it's going to happen. So ask yourself, what environment supports this goal?
Yes.
Okay? Now, the other thing is that we have to be our number one fan and a friend. This is something that we have had so many times. People have told us about it, but are we really practicing it? Sometimes I find myself, I beat myself up thoroughly, such that I find myself in bed because I've finished myself. I've told myself, today you've not done anything, you have failed. You find yourself, you're not able to move. So the secret to this is on how to be a good friend to yourself is that, can you record, just journal the activities you have done today? That was so profound for me, because I have been feeling that I'm not really taking action a lot. But when I looked back, I'm like, okay, what did I do? What did I do in the morning? And I recorded, and I was so astonished that I've taken actions that are in line with my goals. So sometimes there's that voice that lies to us that we are not doing anything. So how do we overcome that voice that lies to us? We have to record what have we done, so that you bring it out to your exposure of what you've been doing. And that works. Yeah. So the other thing also is self-sabotage. We tell ourselves that you cannot do it. And funny enough, when a friend of yours calls you, you will not tell them that you can't do it.
No.
You will encourage them.
That's it.
So these are things that we must start doing that. So, but how? Like, for example, for me, I affirm myself. I have a time, I dedicate 10 minutes of my morning to affirm me. I'm telling myself good things, that I'm capable, that I'm beautiful, that I'm intelligent, yeah, that I can do it. Yeah? So with that, you're being a friend to yourself.
Yes.
But if you just wake up, you have not programmed yourself to success, then even if you are to succeed that day at 30%, but doing those small secrets, they are going to really beef up your action taking. Because if you take action, then it means you're growing. Most of us, we say, I want to become. That is a word that most of us like using. I'm reinventing myself. I want to become a great person. I want to become a great father. I want to become a great employee.
Yes.
If you look at the word become, because I studied that word. Be is a state of self. Come, if someone tells you come, you have to move from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. So become means self-move. Self-move. So if you're saying, I want to become a good mother, how are you self-moving yourself towards that? Are you taking courses? So if you're saying all the time, I'm becoming, but there's no motion, there's no movement in your life, there's nothing you're doing,
yes,
then you're not becoming.
Yeah,
we are lying to ourselves.
That's the point, but you're also saying that if you're going to move, then you also need a skill to help you move, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Because, for example, if you're saying, like, I want to be a good mother, some of us, we have no clue of how to become good parents. We need help. Can we get maybe a family therapist or a course and go and attend? If it's about finances, don't make bad decisions by investing your money in bad investment vehicles. Can you find an investment expert and get that knowledge? Even go for training. Mm-hmm. There's so many courses on financial literacy. So let's just not sit down and do nothing, and then we make or we don't even move, because if you're not doing anything, we're not moving,
yes,
then there's no success. And then we keep on asking ourselves, how come so-and-so is moving? How come so-and-so is growing and is achieving success? If you ask them, they are very conscious on what they are doing. They are committed people. They have the traits of success. Those are people who practice excellence. For them, they don't listen to their feeling. It is what I'm supposed to do, and I do it. Yeah? What is the attitude? Do we have the right attitude for the action or for the goal that we're supposed to have? So it is time for us really to be serious with ourselves,
yes,
and take an audit. Yeah.
So it's about self-audit. Yes, I've got these goals, but then even before they happen, what am I doing about it, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the question that somebody should ask themselves.
Yes. What am I doing? And just look at what is also holding you back. Just what we had discussed. What is holding you back? Is it fear? Is it laziness? Are you lacking skills? Is there a growth, a gap that you are supposed to fill? Yeah, because you find that people have gone for, like, for example, if you're in a banking sector, someone has gone and done a special course, and a promotion comes, and they get it. They're closing the gap of competency. Are you closing it? Are you self-moving? Are you self-moving yourself? Are you becoming? Or you're just stuck and not moving? And this is also a message for myself.
It is for myself as well.
It is for myself.
It's one of those interviews that I do, and you know, it's a personal evaluation journey that you gotta do always.
Yes.
So, Siantra, you're saying that goals are not bad. Have them. Yeah. Knowing about yourself is not bad. Know yourself. Yeah. But then the last part of that success journey is the action point as the most important thing.
It is the most important.
And asking yourself, I set a goal for saving 10 shillings a day, or 100 shillings a day, or 200 shillings a day. Why am I not doing it? Start from there. Why am I not doing it? The goal is right there, and I can see it written somewhere. So you start from, why am I not doing it? So the other question that you're going to get around this particular area is, how do you track success? I know you've spoken about be a friend yourself, be a fan of yourself. Somebody who told me, you know, I don't celebrate small goals, like small successes in a day. They said, what are you doing? You should celebrate. Yeah. Like, I told them, guys, I've got no problem waking up at 3 a.m. They're saying, do you celebrate that? I'm like, no, I don't celebrate that. Then they told me, you see, that's a mistake that you're making. You're not even being a fan of yourself. Because you're probably 1 in 10 who don't have trouble waking up in the morning. How do you track success? is there a success tracker, especially for long-term goals?
Yes.
You know, that's why some people just go in and go like, it's not working, that's it, I'm back to default settings.
Yeah.
And probably I was making proper steps to it.
Yeah, so we have a goals tracker, a tool that we use during coaching.
Yes.
Now, when you're done with the whole process of coaching, there's a sheet that you have to fill.
Yes.
That this is my goal. Where is the timeline? When am I supposed to achieve this? You said, I want to do ABCD. This is what I'll be doing daily, and I want to achieve this goal by this date. So we have a sheet that you actually put it on close to your vision board, because we also do vision boarding, whereby you put whom you want to become as a photo or as a picture there, so that you always have to look at it on a daily basis. As you look at it, then automatically the questions that will start running in your mind is, what am I supposed to do?
Yes.
Okay, so this tracking of success is a daily thing that you do. Like, for example, and it doesn't have to be tedious. Like in the evening, just take I usually have a me time after my children have slept. I have my me time. I ask myself, okay, what have I achieved today in regards to my goals? And I journal. And immediately I feel good about myself, and I'm encouraged and have confidence to do it again tomorrow.
Yes.
So you have to create time. There is no shortcut, unfortunately.
There's no shortcut. You gotta create time.
You have
to question. Well, I said I would do this probably by the end of this week. Have I done it?
Yes.
And then maybe journal. I say I achieved this. I was supposed to achieve this. So what am I doing next week?
Yes.
So that I keep on achieving it, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's like, you can't move along like things without essentially auditing, isn't it?
No, you have.
Oh, you gotta audit.
Yes, you have. And that's what I'm saying. People should not feel like it's a tedious process, because there's something that particular process helps you. Yes. It builds your confidence and increase your self-belief.
Self-belief. And then I want to ask you as well, that if I keep on journaling and then self-auditing, also be aware in the process.
Yes.
I'll be quite aware of who I am and where I am at that particular point.
And where you're failing. Yes. That also comes out.
There is the plan, isn't it?
That also comes out. Because if, for example, you're supposed to do those 3 goals today, and you've done 2, if you don't have that time to sit down, that day will just pass by. Tomorrow you repeat the same thing. So now that particular goal is not growing. So you find like after 1 month, there's no growth. It's because you failed to take that 10 minutes audit of your day. So that if, for example, that 3rd goal, you didn't take it, ask yourself, why? What happened today? Is it fear? Was I lazy? Whether I didn't have any, maybe there were no resources for me to do it. So you find out what is the issue and you get a solution. Then tomorrow you do it.
Does it?
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you this, and take a minute to respond to this, because I want to tell our audience where they can get you, so you can actually now take them to the action part.
Yes.
Because that's what majority of people will be lacking. You know what they say about setting this goal? And I'm sorry to take you back there, but the question is on action.
Yeah.
That set a goal so high, you see these things, you know already. That set a goal so high that you land, that you're going to work so hard, all right, that you're going to land somewhere. By the end of the day, because it was very high, if you land maybe halfway or 3/4 way, you'll be quite successful. Do you have a problem with those statements? And you find people would move around with that. Simba's never made $1 billion, and I'm saying, you know what, they said, I'm going to make $1 billion. Guys, I'll do everything. I will make $1 billion. And if Simba makes 300 million by the end of the year, I will be like, because I set myself a target of $1 billion, I landed at 300 million, that's success.
Okay. Now, yes, I have a response to that, and it's twofold.
Yeah.
Number one, if you see organizations, how they set their goals, they are very stretchy. They don't give you goals that you can achieve, because human beings, we have so much potential. We just need to be stretched a bit, and we go higher than what we think we can deliver.
That's it.
So it is the same thing with your personal goals. I take my clients through a process whereby I tell them, play your life like a movie. There are no limitations. There are no people here to limit you or to judge you. What do you want to see in your wealth space? What do you want to see in your finances? Just make it like a movie and dream big. And you write everything. Don't fear, no limitation. If it's capital, it is there. Because a human being, when you are stretched, even if you're not going to achieve, for example, maybe buying 5 flats or building 5 flats, you can build 2.
Yes.
And that is success. So that's why you have to stretch yourself. Imagine that you can achieve what you want to achieve.
Yes.
But then again, they must be smart.
Oh, it's not just about landing.
You now go to the next place whereby now you say, okay, let's be reasonable. How can I achieve these goals? What is the plan? Because you must have a plan. Because goals trickle down to, I want 5, maybe 1 flat, but what can I do today to get to that 1 flat? Maybe I need to get a side hustle to build up my borrowing capacity. You get, so now that's being smart. Instead of just saying, I want to buy flats. How? What are you doing? Is it a smart goal? So it is very detailed. So once you're able to come up with a daily task, daily habits, we forget about the main goal. That's what I tell my clients, because if you keep on focusing on the big goal, you'll get stressed. You want to build a flat, there's no flat after 1 year. There's no flat after 2 years. But don't forget what you're doing here daily.
To achieve.
You've started, yes.
That's it, to achieve the final goal.
Yes, you've started a side hustle. You're saving more. So the flat is not here, but it's coming. So let's forget about that and focus on the daily. Let's audit the daily task, because they're the ones that will take us there.
That's right. Yeah. Pretty much at this particular point, I've got so many questions on it, even personal questions on fear. I know you said the 5-second rule. I've got so many questions on it, but we got to take it offline, by the way, on this particular time. I mean, Sianto, this is a very important conversation, especially at the beginning of the year when everybody's complaining about finances and career and things not really working out. And this, you get that if you're going to complain, then you have a goal somewhere that you're finally saying it's not working. Those are the people who complain. If they wanna come and talk to you on a personal level, where can they get you?
Yeah. So I can be reached on 0703 478 426, or my Gmail at siantoki@gmail.com, or at Lenana Leboni Center, 4th floor.
Yeah. That is Siantoki.
Siantoki, SINTOKI @gmail.com.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, so many questions, guys, about the formula for success. And today, Sianto said, I'm not going to talk to you about goals and aligning yourself. You guys already know what you can do, what you can't. And you've already set those goals this year. People start the year by setting health goals, financial goals, and career goals. She's spoken to you about why you've not even started doing it today. And if you're going to take anything away, just that self-audit. So today, me too, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, well, let's set myself goals this year. So tonight, I'm going to start journaling and saying, well, today I've not done anything to help me achieve that particular goal that I set for myself at the beginning of the year. And if I actually do that, then this particular show actually does make sense. I say one of the weirdest interviews for me to do, because it speaks to me directly. So hopefully I did ask the right questions, and she did sort of respond to all the concerns that you had. And if not satisfied, you know where to get her now at Lookuptv across all the social media platforms as well. Talk to us. We'll relay those questions to her as well. Sianto, thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you, Simba. Thank you very much.
It's been a master class. It's not often that you get these classes, by the way. Yeah? It's not often for free? No. I know some of you have taken notes. So you should send that M-Pesa right now. Kunywa chai hapo nje ndio tutoke. Anyway, thank you very much for being a part and parcel of this particular broadcast from the time that we started this morning at 7 a.m. up to where we are right now. For me, it's a bye-bye. Time to go do that audit for me right now as well.